Chad from Flash Performance here, and my wife is kicking me out of the house. And not just my wife, my daughter is kicking me out of the house. Addison, why am I getting kicked out of the house?
Because your office is in my bedroom.
Because my office is in her bedroom. What makes you think you deserve a bedroom?
Because my sister is a dirt pig.
She is pretty dirty. So how does that tie all together with this video? Well, in order to kick me out of the house, I have to put my office in the barn. And to put my office in the barn, I need air conditioning. So I got a pallet with air conditioning. You're gonna wanna see this. So here's the deal. I work from home and my office just happens to be in my daughter's bedroom. And that wasn't really a very big deal until she started getting older. I mean, she's almost a teenager and she thinks she wants her own bedroom. So in the past, 6 months or so, I've been working in my shop, getting ready to move out of the house and into my office. So you can see up here is my new office. Let me show you. So I built a mezzanine in my shop, and it works out really well. I got room enough to put some machines underneath there. And then I have my stairway going up top here. And this is gonna be great. My ceilings are a little low, but that's okay. I got my key cut station, some tools, lots and lots of tools. And then I go into the office and I put lots of outlets and lots of plugs and lots of windows, and there's no windows to the outside. And that means it's going to get very, very warm in the office. So the first thing I gotta do is I gotta get air conditioning in the office. Now, the good side of that is I'm thinking about a mini split, and that makes sense. But you know what? I do shoot a lot of videos in here, and it's hot in Indiana, and I think I want air conditioning in the rest of the shop as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to install a triple mini split in the shop. And I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna put it at. So this is my shop. I know you get to see bits and pieces of it, and I can, kind of make it look a lot better than it actually is at this state with a little fancy camera angles. But this is a 30 by 50 shop, and I have 14-foot ceilings throughout. So when I started building the office, I put this I-beam here. It's got a 7-foot ceiling inside and then a little bit less than 7 feet on the top side, but it's high enough that I don't hit my head and I can still use both areas pretty comfortably. So the idea is to put 3 mini split units in the shop. The one in the office is going to be the one I'm going to use most of the time. That's going to go on the outside wall. And then I have a smaller one that's going to go here on the wall in front of this bay, and then a smaller one that's going to go over here. Actually, this is going to be the biggest one because this is the biggest, openest area in the shop. And the reason I decided to go with mini splits is, number one, they're ductless. I don't have to do all the ducting throughout the shop. And number two, they don't really take up any of my floor space. I don't have to worry about building a big cabinet over here in the corner to put the AC unit and then running the ducting. I can actually just put the mini split unit here and here, and those will work as heat pumps as well, and they're pretty efficient. So over here, I do have in-floor heating. In-floor heating works phenomenal, but it's on this electric boiler, and the electric boiler is a little on the expensive side. So we're going to use the mini splits to do the heat and air conditioning. And when I put those up, I don't think I'll use the shop ones very much unless I'm shooting videos, but the one in the office is going to run the majority of the time. So our next step is to show you what I chose to put in the shop. So let's talk about what I have, and let's talk about how I got to this point. So how I got to this point was I was researching, trying to figure out what is going to be the right setup for my shop. And I looked at a lot of different kits when it came to mini splits and air conditioners. One of the things I didn't want to have is I didn't want to take up a whole bunch of space as far as footprint goes for a floor mounted unit that has ducting. And I just didn't want to deal with the ducting as well. I wanted to be able to do multiple zones because I do work in different parts of the shop, and why air condition the office and the shop at the same time? If I'm not using the shop, I only need to use the office. So I wanted to have that ability to split, so that automatically pushed me towards the mini split setup. Now the next thought was, is there a unit big enough to be able to operate and air condition the rest of the shop? Really, it's a 30 by 50 shop, and that takes a lot of airflow. So I called the team at Cooper & Hunter and I said, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I want to accomplish, and this is what I have. They asked me very specific questions. They asked me questions like, how many windows do you have? Do you have any machinery in the shop that's going to add a heat load in the shop? How often do you open and close your doors? How is your insulation? So I answered all those questions. And just so you know, I have 2 overhead doors, no windows, and I really don't have any tools that run all the time that would add heat. Yes, I have a welder, yes, I have a lathe, and yes, I have a mill, but they're not running all the time. And usually if I am doing those, it's going to be a pretty short amount of time, so it's not going to add a lot of heat load to the building. All the walls have 5 inches thick of foam, and the ceiling currently is at 2.5 inch thick of foam. As soon as I finish the ceiling and get the steel put on the top, then I'm going to blow in a bunch of insulation. So the building itself is going to be very tight, and I don't think I'm going to lose a lot of that conditioned air through the gaps and through the insulation. So that was one of the factors as well. So this is the setup that they recommended for me. So this is going to be the outdoor condenser. This is a dual condenser setup to be able to hold 48,000 BTU. Back here, I have 3 head units. So the smaller of the head units is a 9,000 BTU system. The one here on top, this is a 18,000 BTU system, and the one on the bottom is a 24,000 BTU system. So the way these are going to be split out, I'm going to have a 9,000 BTU in the office. In the side bay that is kind of sharing space with the office area is going to be my 18,000 BTU. And the big space where I usually have the most work going on right in front of the big lift is going to be the 24,000 BTU. So that's kind of the setup that we decided to go with. So the next step is line sets. The line sets come in different lengths. So this one is going to be a 50-foot length, and then I also picked up a 25-foot length. Actually, 2 25-foot lengths. That way I could run my 2 units that are going to be in the main part of the shop down here and outside to the condenser unit, and then the 50-foot unit is going to run up into the attic, over and down to the office area. Now the beautiful part about line sets is they can go any direction you want to. They can go up, down, sideways, it doesn't matter. It does matter when you're talking about the condensation line. And the condensation line is a trick that I have to figure out yet, but I think I got it figured out in my head. Now, I have not done this before. I have never done a mini split system before. So I've done a lot of AC work on cars, so I think I'm qualified to be able to do this. I can run the electrical and I can make sure that everything is working properly. I do have a phone a friend. I have a friend that is in the air conditioning business, and if I need any tools or if I need any help, I can call him as well. So I think I'm pretty good set up when it comes to getting this installed, and I got a pretty good idea in my head how this is all going to work. This is going to be a multi-unit series, so make sure that you check out the channel, make sure you subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more coming on this Cooper & Hunter system, and I think it's going to be pretty impressive. So I'm Chad from Flash Performance. Thanks for joining me, and we are going to have a lot of fun getting this all installed. I'm going to go into really deep detail and try and show you how I do it. Now, whether it's right or not, that's up to you, and you can tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.